request everyone to rise as we are joined by our Honorary Director, sir. We welcome you, sir. Thank you, everyone. I request everyone to rise as we are joined by our Assistant Director, ma'am. We welcome you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. You may take your seats. You start.
Jai Hind. Before beginning with the program, I would request everyone to have a look at the evacuation layout plan displayed on the LED screen in case of an emergency.
The arena where you are seated today has two exits. The first exit is right next to the stage, from where you can take the stairs that will lead you to the food court.
The second exit is at the back side, which will lead you to the staircase by which you can reach the exit of the food court. Both ways, if you take a right turn and walk straight, it will take you to the main gate of the school.
Kindly note that at the back side of the hall, there are separate restrooms for ladies and gentlemen. There is a drinking water area at the back side of the hall. We have volunteers to guide you if needed.
In a world often divided by borders, diplomacy emerges not just as a solution, but as a bridge to understanding, unity, and transformation. Today, we don't merely speak, we negotiate, we challenge, and we change. Good morning and Jai Hind to eminent board of directors and dignitaries, esteemed guest of the day, teachers, the entire Ennead team, and distinguished delegates from renowned institutions across Varanasi. I, Pratichi,
And I, Navya, welcome you to the grand inauguration of the third edition of the Ennead MUN. For the next 2 days, you will witness not just a convergence of ideas, but also hall-turning crucible of intellect and a celebration of global dialogue, which will dare you to think deeper, speak stronger, and lead smarter.
from the womb of the cosmos rises Shakti, the eternal feminine force, creator, nurturer, protector, and a fierce destroyer of evil.
Revered across time, Devi lives in every role: mother, daughter, teacher, homemaker, warrior, and guide. Join us in witnessing a vibrant tribute to Devi Mahatva.
That was indeed a graceful and mesmerizing performance by Daksha. We are honored to be joined by our principal, Sunbeam English School, Bhagwanpur, Ms. Prerna Sharma. We welcome you, ma'am.
We are truly honored to have members of our administration and faculty here with us. Individuals whose support has been instrumental in shaping the Ennead MUN.
I now invite Assistant Director of Sunbeam Group of Educational Institutions, Ms. Pratima Gupta, to address the gathering and give her blessings.
Good morning and Jai Hind, everyone. And I welcome all of you very, very warmly to the third edition of Ennead MUN. Well, it is something which is very, very close to our hearts at Sunbeam Bhagwanpur because it was initiated a few years back by our own students and since then has acquired these dimensions that today, as I stand here to welcome almost 400 plus students as well as 8 moderators who have come to us from outside the city of Varanasi, it makes me believe all over again in the fact that the young country of ours, young in terms of the youth power that it has, definitely has a bright future. Why is it important for us to meet across such forums and organize such dialogues? Because schools traditionally have been hubs of teaching, learning, almost didactic, almost instructional, almost unilateral in their dialogues, so-called dialogues. But the schools of today, and definitely a school like Sunbeam School Bhagwanpur, understands that beyond the usual processes of academic delivery systems, there are issues and there are topics that need to be deliberated upon with a different perspective, with a youthful perspective, above all, with a very contemporary, contextually relevant perspective, which perhaps may not be the lens that the adults are viewing the world with, which is why it is important to give a forum to the young voices where we people, and by we people I mean the adults, the so-called adults, the makers of policies, the initiators of planning should take a back step, should just sit down quietly and listen to what these voices are saying. Because our vision, our planning, and our thoughts may be good, but when it comes to execution in the field, we perhaps may be a tad outdated in our thinking and believing because we grew up and we were nurtured in a very, very different world. The world of today is definitely more aggressive in terms of being vocal, aggressive in terms of putting forward things fearlessly. Sometimes the raucous voices may not meet with our approval, but then who are we to actually challenge the way it is put forward? Because if it brings about change and if it makes an impact, then the right and the wrong of the process need not be debated upon, need not be dissed, need not be speculated. The right and the wrong of the way shall be judged only when the outcome is right, only when the outcome benefits humanity. As I stand here today, I wish to put on record the utmost need of a school which has been rocked by a tragedy of violence just a week back. And never before have we realized the importance of dialogue. Never before have we felt the acute pain of people not listening to each other, but just pretending to hear each other. So it is from a very, very personal lens that I talk to you all today and that I beseech you all today that learn to debate, learn to negotiate, learn to arbitrate, adjudicate, whatever is the term, Indian, Greek, Latin, whichever language you wish to say it in, but for God's sake, learn to listen. It's very important. When we have lost someone extremely dear to us, just because a person refused to listen to that person, and just because a person was nurtured in perhaps a value system which felt that might is right. So I think never before has the importance of words been underlined so absolutely emphatically as it has been done today. I appeal to all of you to exercise restraint and caution. Remember, we are here to discuss, debate, put forward our points. We are not here to demean people. We are here to agree to disagree. We are not here to say that it is my way or highway. Do not drown out voices. Do not overpower, intimidate a thought just because you are a good orator. Back it up with facts. Give us great research. Yours is a generation that cites data for almost everything. So let me see the data for it. Let me not just rely upon the tone or the power of my voice or my ability to silence a voice with some sarcasm or with some bombastic, pedantic words which are hurled like missiles just to sound important. Let us not have that. Let us respect disagreements. Let us understand each other's points of view. Above all, let's learn to talk. Let's learn to give each other the space to hear and be heard. So over the next 2 days, let the voices within find expression. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words.
Behind every successful MUN is a team that works relentlessly, moderating, guiding, and inspiring. Let us now introduce you to the executive board members of the Ennead MUN 3.0, the driving force behind this event.
Beginning with, we have from International Press, Mr. Naman Singh as the head of International Press and Ms. Ambika Kumari as the head of photography.
Next up, from Historical Crisis Committee, we have Mr. Parth Jyoti Roy as chairperson and Ms. Parishi Gupta as crisis director.
From All India Political Parties Meet Committee, we have Mr. Kartik Deshwal as moderator, Mr. Naman Pahuja as deputy moderator, and Ms. Archita Mishra as scribe.
Up next, from Lok Sabha, we have Mr. Shivan Srivastav as a speaker, Mr. Manibha Jain as deputy speaker, and Mr. Aradhya Mishra as political advisor.
Next, we have Mr. Aman Kumar Mishra and Mr. Kumar Harsh as co-chairpersons from United Nations Environment Programme.
Followed by United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, we have Mr. Vimal Mishra as chairperson.
Next, from Special Political and Decolonization Committee, we have Mr. Bhuvan Makkar and Ms. Yenin Varghese as co-chairpersons.
Lastly, from United Nations General Assembly, we have Ms. Manasvi Thalplial as the chairperson and Mr. Arnav Bharadwaj as the vice chairperson.
Now I request the Board of Directors to ascend the stage to felicitate the executive board members of the Ennead MUN with a token of appreciation from our end.
And I also request the executive board members of International Press, AIPPM, and Lok Sabha to kindly ascend the stage to accept the token of appreciation.
Mr. Kartik Deshwal as moderator.
From IB, say.
From AIPPM. Mr. Naman Pahuja as deputy moderator. And Ms. Archita Mishra as scribe. From Lok Sabha, we have Mr. Shivan Srivastav as speaker. Next from Lok Sabha, we have Ms. Manibha Jain as deputy speaker. Then we have Mr. Aradhya Mishra as political advisor. Then from International Press, we have Mr. Naman Singh as the head of International Press. And Miss Ambika Kumari as the head of photography.
I also request the executive board members of UNEP, UNCSW, SPECPOL and HCC to kindly ascend the stage to accept the token of appreciation.
From UNEP, we have Mr. Aman Kumar Mishra and Mr. Kumar Harsh as co-chairpersons. From UNCSW, we have Mr. Vimal Mishra as chairperson and Ms. Niharika Jaiswal as vice chairperson.
From SPECPOL, we have Mr. Bhuvan Makkar as co-chairperson and Ms. Yaneen Varghese as co-chairperson. From HCC, we have Mr. Parth Jyoti Roy as chairperson and Ms. Parishi Gupta as crisis director.
Thank you, ma'ams and sirs. You may take your seats now, and I request Honorary Director, Sunbeam Group of Educational Institutions, Mr. Harsh Madhok, to kindly stay back and address the gathering.
Jai Hind, and a very good morning to everyone. Good morning. Are you all ready? More energy, more energy. Are you all ready? Yes, sir. Okay, great. So first of all, a warm welcome to all the members of the executive board who have been felicitated. So welcome all of you. I believe all of you are from the NCR region. And welcome to Sunbeam for the third Ennead Model United Nations Conference, which we are having at Sunbeam Bhagwanpur. And I've come to believe that there are about 250 students, 450 students who are participating from the 8 different schools, including 3 Sunbeam schools. So welcome everyone. Welcome to all the students, all the participants also who will be here for dialogue, for discussion. Rightfully said by Pratima ma'am that now is the time to have good dialogue, because we have so much energy and it can get destructive. So to counter that, the best thing is to have dialogue so that I understand you and you understand me, something like that. So it's very important for us to learn how to have diplomacy in this time and space. And I think that Model United Nations, such events of Ennead will give all of you the opportunity to negotiate, to listen to other people, to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. That's the most important thing. So we can stand back and talk about what is right for me and what is right from my position. But the real leadership comes not from perspective. And perspective is about knowing the story from, let's say, 10,000 feet or 20,000 feet, from a bird's eye view, where you see both sides of the story. So I'm sure that when you discuss and debate with everyone, you'll get the same, you'll understand both sides of the story. So we are looking forward to the next 2 days of MUN. I hope that all the participants, it's not just about winning, it's all about learning and enrichment. It's about enjoying this atmosphere. And I'm sure all of you will enjoy this as much as we will. With that, once again, all the best to all the participants and teams. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for motivating us with your words.
I now request Principal Sunbeam English School Bhagwanpur, Ms. Prerna Sharma, to kindly address the gathering.
Good morning and Jai Hind everyone. And I welcome all the board members and I welcome all the participants here. And I stand here as a proud principal because I am proud of my organizing committee. It is a students' initiative and I can see my students confident. I see their conviction. I see their critical decision-making ability, and these events which we encourage our students with these initiatives to be taken are going to enrich them in their future life. And it is also, as it has been said few minutes back, that debate, discussion, interaction, hearing to each other but not listening, all these things are the skills which we need to nurture in ourselves. And these are the things which sometimes we are lacking, because language, choice of words, tone of speaking, all these matters even in the parliament. So it is a very good initiative. Thank you all the participants. Thank you board members. Thank you organizing committee, students organizing committee, and thank you teachers and admins who hand-holded to make this event successful. This event is 2 days event, and any event can be successful when participants are happy. So I am looking for happy participants for these 2 days. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for your blessings. Now, with great pride and admiration, I call upon the backbone of the Ennead MUN 3.0, the very passionate, composed and visionary Secretary General, Ms. Khushi Bansal, Let us hear from her what the Ennead truly means and the journey that brought us here. Where voices unite to shape the future. That's not just a tagline we picked out of thin air. It's the very essence of what the Ennead stands for. In ancient mythology, the Ennead was a sacred group of 9 deities, each powerful on its own. But when brought together, they formed a force that shaped entire civilizations. For us, that's exactly what this conference is about. Individuals with their own voices, their own passions, their own convictions, coming together to shape ideas, perspectives, and futures. This is exactly what these 2 days are all about. Jai Hind everyone, I am Khushi Bansal, the Secretary General of the Ennead MUN, and today, standing here in front of you all feels, well, overwhelming in the best way possible. This journey began on 1st September 2024, literally the day the last edition ended. While others were still basking in the post-conference glow, my charge d'affaires and I were already sketching ideas for what could become this edition. Soon after, my Joint Director General joined the madness, and together we carried a vision to our school, hoping they would believe in us enough to let us dream bigger, and thankfully, they did. But let me take you back further to something I can never forget. In the orientation of the first edition, when an audience just like this sat right before us, the speaker asked, "How many of you know what an MUN is?" And only 3 students raised their hands. Just 3. This year, when we walked in for the orientations, almost the entire room rose in unison, and that moment, I realized that this is what we have done. This is not just a conference anymore, this is a culture we have built, a culture of debate, dialogue, and diplomacy. And the process of building this, well, it wasn't pretty. There were late nights where my team saw me stressing over things that looked invisible to others. The shade of a font, the placement of a logo, the exact alignment of a banner. Weeks were spent arguing about centimeters on Canva. My to-do list became so repetitive that I think my team could recite them in their sleeps. And yet, through all my pestering, they endured. They rolled their eyes, they laughed, they fought back, but they delivered. And today, I can say with pride, the madness paid off. Because look around you, the Ennead MUN has grown. From being an experiment in a city where MUN culture barely existed, to now hosting over 430 delegates across 8 committees, UNEP, UNGA, SpecPol, HCC, UNCSW, AIPPM, International Press, Lok Sabha. This is no longer just an idea, it is a reality. And why did we fight so hard for this? Because MUNs changed my life. They gave me clarity about my career, a stage to put forward my opinions, and a sense of belonging in discussions that mattered. And I wanted every single student out there, especially those like me, once craving to be heard, to have the same opportunity. So here we are. As we step into the next 2 days, my expectations are not of perfection, but of authenticity. Debate fiercely, yes, but also listen genuinely. Defend your country or portfolio, but also respect the humanity behind every delegate sitting across you. Don't just chase the awards. Chase the experience, the friendships, the late night realizations about what the world needs and how you can be a part of it. Because here at the Ennead MUN, every word, perspective, and voice matters. Welcome to the Ennead 2025, where voices unite to shape the future. And with that, it is my absolute honor and privilege to declare the Ennead MUN 2025 officially open. Thank you so much, Khushi.
Once again, a heartfelt welcome to each one of you. Whether you are a returning delegate or stepping into your very first MUN, we promise you, here your voice matters, your ideas matter, and most importantly, you matter.
And now, the stage is yours, delegates. It's time to step into your committees, raise those placards, challenge the norms, and rewrite policies.
Now, I request the council members to escort Assistant Director Ma'am back to her office, and we will begin with the committee proceedings.
We request everyone to now proceed to their respective committee venues. The committee rooms are as follows. Lok Sabha to move to the Srijan, UNCSW to room number 102 of College Building, Spec Pole to room number 103 of College Building, HCC